All right. Well, let's go around the room. What was helpful about powerful relationships, and why do you think it makes a difference for people to realize that they have a choice and about what they can control? What's so powerful about that? What do you guys think?
It's just letting them acknowledge or let them knowing that it's within their control, that it's their their perception, their assumption of somebody else.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same if someone just was like you telling them, "Oh, you have a choice. Focus on what you can control." It's totally different. That's why I feel like this exercise is so helpful, because it gives you that awareness. Just like assumptions, because assumptions most always affect our actions and our reactions to people and situations. Sarah, what do you think?
Oh, well, I have a few thoughts too. I think it's liberating, for one. It's really freeing to know that you have that control, and that whether you want to continue a relationship or not, that's even liberating too. And knowing that there's control in what you allow into your life and how it affects your quality of life, relationships, and being able to choose that is really powerful. Yeah, and I like this exercise a lot. I was telling Robin and Eddie, I think it kind of helps take the emotion out, because sometimes relationships are really emotional. And so putting this structure in there just helps break it down in piece by piece, which is really great too, because then you can kind of look at it from an outsider's eye and sort of a more objective perspective, and that's sort of refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. Yeah, there's probably an opportunity when I was coaching Robin to ask, what does a relationship look like from a bird's eye view? You could probably ask that question too. Thanks, Sarah. All right, who wants to go next? What do you guys think? Takeaways. JC?
Helen and I talked a bit about empathy, and it was really nice to. My example was work related and just a person that gets under my skin, and it was really nice to take a step back and not focus on the fact that I irritate the crap out of me, and focus more on the empathy part. And it was empowering, and maybe in the grand scheme of things, it's not such a big deal.
The grand scheme of things. Go ahead. What else did you say?
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really such a big deal, and I do have the power to, change the way the situation is turning out.
Yeah, it's so nice to almost feel that weight take it off you, I have a choice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, JC. What did you think, Mike?
I think it worked well. I'll totally honest, I wasn't a huge fan of this thing when I first saw it, because I feel like if you want to fix a relationship, that it's important not to just change your perspective on the relationship, because that doesn't really fix it. It changes how you feel about it, but it doesn't fix the relationship, But still, having said that, I think it is important to, as a first step at least, to change the way you feel about it and see opportunities to act and behave differently, and in the hope that will spark a different behavior on the other person's part too, So from a coaching standpoint, it's a really fun exercise, because you can explore a lot of important, pretty deep feelings, perspectives, assumptions, and so forth. So from being coach standpoint, I just sent a chat to Kanika because I didn't tell her I was doing this, but the relationship I talked about was with my dog, and I didn't tell her until we were done. But it worked really, really well, because it allowed me to see him as more than just a dog, and I really kind of got into what he talked about, his being needy and wanting to spend time with me all the time, and how I can be more patient and things like that. And it worked
Mike,
really well.
Great job, Mike. Good job.
And Mike, there's the giggling grandpa.
Yeah. It wasn't 100% fair, but it worked. You know,
That
it
is
worked.
hilarious.
God.
Yeah, it worked really well. And now I have some really good tools that I'm going to put in place and increase my patience level with them. And it was successful. We 100% met my goal of what we wanted to do. So, Kanika, I apologize for not being upfront with you when I was doing that, but I didn't want you to change your approach. So,
Mike, you wanted to bring up more giggling grandpa, so right?
That's right. Well, it was we worked hard. Both of us worked hard, you know. It was because it's an important relationship. So anyway, it was good.
Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. And I want to bring up a point. There are times where the relationship is not something we can coach around. And if your gut is saying, I need to ask them if they've gone to counseling, definitely, like, just trust that if you have that hesitation. Because I have been, like, there have been times where it was something really serious, and I had to tell them, I can't coach you around that. Have you considered going to counseling? So just know it's not meant to fix a relationship, but it's to help the person, like you to realize what can you do in this relationship. But it's not about fixing the other person or they might take a step, but there are definitely times where we're referring to counseling, like, so just a note there. There are times it's doesn't work. And Robin coached me, and her instinct was like, this isn't fit. It doesn't work. And I'm glad she trusted that, because, like, really what I just needed was to talk about it and get a little perspective on it. So trust your gut and just know, like, you can adapt this tool too. Just, even asking what about this relationship or this situation is in your control. What's not in your control? And just having them realize that can be really powerful, just asking that question. Eddie, what did you think?
Okay, for me, my takeaway for this exercise is assumption affect your action, and always you have a choice. You can choose what you feel, and when you coach somebody, you just need to get that point. You need to get the point that you can ask a question for the person shift what they're gonna feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Makes sense?
really powerful in
Yeah.
this. Yeah, very cool. Thank you, Eddie. All right, Kellen, what about you?
Hi. So, I really like that this gives you an opportunity to examine assumptions. I mean, it just seems to me that, I was taught when I was a kid that it was wrong to assume about anything. You take the word assume. I don't know how many people in this group were taught this, but you can split it into 3 parts: ASS, and then slash, and then U, and then slash, and then ME. And so when you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. Like, you break down the word like that. Was anyone else ever taught that?
I've never heard of it, but
No.
Yeah, I have.
I was homeschooled.
So, but assuming is something that we all do so passively. I mean, it's like it happens and we're not really cognizant of it most of the time. And so often it's faulty, it's a faulty assumption. Most of the time they're not really very accurate. And so just having this tool to tease apart the assumption and then the results of it, and then trying to look at what is probably being assumed on the other side is so good and so useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there is a lot of, like, perception around assumptions, like, oh, it's bad to assume. Or even, like, I've had someone like, well, I shouldn't assume what someone's thinking. It's not like you're saying you're right or you know what you're thinking, but what could you, if you were in their shoes, what would you imagine they might be thinking or assuming about your action? And it's not to say, like, oh, you're judging. And that's why I think just shedding light on assumptions, but not saying, like, these are right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff. Yeah, thanks, Kellen. Kanika, what about you?
In hindsight, I had a lot of fun coaching Mike. Now that I know it was about the dog. But yeah, I think it's a powerful tool. It sort of gives you a perspective on the positive side of a person, because when you were doing the demo with Robin, I think we all have one person like that we absolutely don't want to talk to. But it was good to get that positive side to think about of that person. It may not change your opinion of that person, but it gets you into that don't care zone, which is what you want to get at the end of the day. So I think it's a powerful exercise.
Yeah. And what's cool, Kanika, is it proves you don't have to know anything about the other person. You don't have to know if it's a dog or a human, or you don't have to know anything. You just have to focus on your client.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but it's still funny.
it's hilarious. Hilarious. All right, so we're out of time, but I want to touch base with you guys. So our last class is set to be the 20th. Do we want to change the date, or can everyone come on the 20th? I heard from a couple of you.
Please, can we change?
You can't do the 20th. Okay.
I could do the 15th if we had talked about that.
Okay.
Or either one. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've heard from Robin, but can everyone email me even after class? Like, these dates work for me, because we need to decide that, and just give like as many dates and times as you can would be helpful. And I think 2-hour time blocks, and then if you want, the final exam is available now. So if you guys want to set up a study group or something where you guys drop in and like talk about it, I can't officially like help, but if you need clarity on something, we can definitely do that. So just be thinking about that. And then Mike, Kanika, Kellen, and Sarah, you also need to email me about scheduling. Robin, I have to follow up with you, and I already know when I have to follow up with you, but I was waiting on some answers for questions to reply to you. But I will get back to you and Mike tonight. So if everyone could please email me, I want to plan ahead because there's a lot going on. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you for this. And I hope that you have a powerful week with all of your relationships. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.